Hey, Matt.
Hey guys,
Good
I'm
morning.
sorry. I know it looks like I'm on my smartphone right now in a car. The car part is correct, but I am actually super high tech right now. I've got a real microphone hooked up to an actual audio interface on my laptop. It's like my own little studio in a Hyundai Kona on a driveway in Framingham, Massachusetts.
I freaking love it, man.
I
I
think
have
it-
I have a Hyundai Ioniq 5 in my driveway.
Hey, we're both electric drivers. Let's go EVs. I love it.
I know. And my sister, she used to drive a Kona, but then the baby car seat couldn't fit in the Kona.
Oh my God. Look at this. I got 2 giant car seats in the back. It's ridiculous because I bought this car. Like, I'd been really wanting to get into the EV world, but you know, they were expensive for a long time, but now you can actually get some used. And I saw this picture online and I was like, oh, that's actually a pretty decent price. It said SUV in the title, but I showed up and it's like a Hot Wheels car. It's tiny. I did not expect that, but I was so already sold on the car. I was like, I have to get this. So I called my wife and I was like, look, the thing is really small, but I really want it. I love the way it drives. I love that it's electric and the price is great. And she was like, all right, fine, just go for it. So now we just cram into as much as we can into this car. And you know what? It's helped us be very, I guess, efficient, or like, what was that lady on Netflix that had the show about throwing all your things away to make space in your
Marie
house?
Kondo.
Yeah.
Marie Kondo.
Kondo.
It's made us very Marie Kondo every time we have to get in the car.
I love
That's
it.
good.
I love
So-
that. You're a minimalist now because of your electric car. That's
Yeah,
great.
it's worth it.
Matt Shearer,
Yeah.
thank you so much for saying yes.
Yes.
Of course, I
Yes.
rarely say no, but I love the concept of what you two are all about with this podcast. So thank you for thinking of me with this.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yep.
So excited.
Amy, you want to just jump in?
Let's
You ready,
just
Matt?
do it. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Matt. It's nice to meet you, by the way.
Hey, nice to meet you.
Thank you. All right. Hi, everyone. Today on I Think I Can Be Happier, we're talking with Matt Shearer, who is a reporter for WBZ News Radio in Boston, where he focuses on feature stories about people and places in Massachusetts. And Hannah, I know that you are familiar with Matt because of where you are located. And Matt, I know that you're well known in Massachusetts, but I am actually in North Carolina, so
That is
I'm not as familiar with you.
I was gonna say, that is a very nice way of saying, who the hell is this guy? Like, why are we having him on the podcast? But I get it. It's so true. It's like, to a certain, that's the way the internet world is. It's like, to a certain amount of people, you're like this big deal, and then to everyone else, you're like a nobody. And I'm okay with that. Yeah.
Yeah. I wouldn't say a nobody, but I would love for you to, just introduce yourself. Tell us like what you do day to day for our listeners who may not be quite as familiar with you.
Of course. So I am a reporter for WBZ News Radio, as you said, but I am more commonly known for the stuff that I do on social media. I've had a bunch of videos go viral, get millions of views, and I was named by the Boston Globe New England's most viral journalist, and I've won a bunch of awards, some national, some local. I was named Best of Boston a couple of times, and I won this big national award for excellence in innovation from the Edward R. Murrow Awards, which is a big deal in the world of journalism. So that's all me patting myself on the back. But the actual, like, to give you an idea of the kinds of stuff that I do, it's very fun, very people driven. I'm not the type of journalist who's hanging out outside of murder scenes or like, you know, chasing politicians down the street and into their homes. It's like, I want to talk to the everyday person who is just making people smile, like on their way into Market Basket. The people that wouldn't typically be getting news coverage, but they are a huge deal in their community. Just people that you know and you love. Maybe they're not a CEO, maybe they're not a big, powerful politician, but they matter and their stories matter too. Everyone has a story, and I love hearing those stories that no one ever otherwise would hear.
Matt,
That's
I
awesome.
love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Matt, can you tell us like what drew you to like the human interest side of journalism? Like what What happened there to get you to that point?
So when I started this job, I had like no journalism experience, to be honest. I was not, I didn't study it in school. I was just a radio guy. I had worked in talk radio, rock radio, pop radio, all this stuff. The job that I had for 7 years before this one was like entertainment, pop music, like comedy style morning show, like wacky morning show. Oh, what's up, everybody? What's going on in Hollywood today? And I was the guy out on the street doing like bits and pranks occasionally and just funny comedic interviews like that. So when I did end up like finding my way into this role, I kind of wanted to show the newsroom like that was that was my strength, because there were all these really esteemed journalists that I was working alongside, people who had been in the biz for years and really knew how to chase down those politicians and get interviews at the murder scene. And I was like, I don't really want to do that kind of stuff. I want to have fun and I want to really connect with the people in my community. And so I just made it my mission to show the newsroom that that's what I could do. And eventually they agreed. They were like, yeah, this is you, this is working, so keep doing it.
It's awesome. I love that.
That's great.
And I think like when I think about just the idea of being happier, so much of that is making sure that you're doing what you really want to do and what you feel, what makes you happy and makes you feel good.
I always say this, it's like if I'm not like into a story that I'm covering, or if I'm not passionate about the story that I'm telling, why should I expect anybody else to be into it too? So I'm really lucky that I've made it to a place in my career where the newsroom kind of lets me do my thing, and it makes
cool.
If the job is, the job, you want the job to be fun for you. So sometimes I'll even like be kind of done with a story, but I'm like, it needs a little extra kick. And so I'll grab my guitar and my keyboard or my bass, saxophone, and I'll just like lay down a track. I'll record a whole song to put under the video just for fun. And it takes longer.
That's so cool.
Yeah. It also gets around the whole copyright issue. I don't have to worry about. But you know what's so funny is one of my videos did actually get silenced for having like a copywritten song. And I'm like, I literally made that song myself, performed every single instrument. AI is dumb, but whatever.
Yes. I was just saying to Amy the other day, we have forgotten to acknowledge that Amy's son wrote our podcast theme song.
Whoa, that's awesome.
Yeah.
You saved so much money that way. But no, seriously, props to your son for being super talented. That's awesome.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Speaking of music, I found something out about you. I was doing a little digging. You like straight edge hardcore.
Yeah, wow. Yeah. You did your research. Good for you.
I did. It sounds like I did like a lot of deep diving. I just listened to the episode that you were on of that Sore Thumbs kids from Emerson.
Yeah, the improv show.
That was very funny. You did a good job.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. So anyway, I was surprised. I don't know why that surprised me, but I love like finding like little tidbits about people. Like,
yeah, I don't know. I think it is weird when you see like a guy who will do like a varial flip on a skateboard in the middle of a video, and you're like, oh, you don't do drugs? Like weird, So, but it's true. I've never been high. I've never been drunk. I've never even I once accidentally sipped alcohol when I picked up the wrong can at a party and I wasn't paying attention. It was not my Coca-Cola. But here's a fun fact that I'll add to that I didn't mention in that other podcast. I'll give you your own little tidbit that other podcasts can listen to. I don't drink caffeine either. I was super into caffeine for a long time through college because, I was working all these crazy overnight radio shifts and I needed like a coffee in one hand and a soda in the other in order to stay awake. But then I got my wisdom teeth out and I was sitting at home like on all these painkillers and I was like, well, I haven't had caffeine in a few days. Maybe I should see how long I can keep this going. And now here I am many, many years later, and I haven't had caffeine in decades. So
that's cool.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that's awesome. So this makes me think, this whole conversation of different things that makes me think, like, what is for you, what is your definition of happiness, right? So like, living like a part of it, I'm guessing, is living this like, I don't know, what's the right word? Chemical-free life? I don't know if that's the right word, but
Yeah,
is
I don't
that
know.
part of your happiness?
I guess so. Yeah. I mean, to be honest, that's a part of my life that I don't even think about too much. It just kind of is the way it
Yeah, that
is,
makes
you know?
sense. Hmm.
Definitely thought about it more in college when people were like, come on, what are you doing? You should drink with us. And then, and the older I get, now I have more and more friends who are like, whoa, you don't drink? That's awesome. Like, I wish I could not
And that's a
drink
good
too.
idea.
And, more and more friends. And it's funny, they'll hit me up and they'll be like, hey, man, I stopped drinking. Like, what do you do? Like, what do you do for fun? It's like, I don't know. we have our sober hangouts where we play checkers and, drink juice boxes. And no, I don't know. It's like the same thing you all do. Sometimes I'll even go out to the bar or go out to parties. I just won't be drinking and it's fun.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, for me, I would say happiness is just kind of like satisfaction, being satisfied with where you are despite everything. And I say despite everything because that everything could be different for everybody. There are certain universal everythings that we all share that suck about living in this world that we live in, but everyone's also going through their own thing. And if you can find a place in your life where you're satisfied despite all of that, and you're working towards getting over all of that and jumping over the hurdles of life and getting through those challenges, and you're happy with where you're at and the direction you're going, that to me is happiness.
I love that.
That's great.
Yeah.
So,
Thanks.
So Matt, do you feel like you are just a naturally happy person, or is it something that you have to like intentionally work at?
I would say that is a good question. I'm definitely one of those people who I think comes off as naturally happy for sure. But I have my moments, like a lot of people. Thank you.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. That's just naturally the me that I put out there to the world for sure. But absolutely, like everyone else, deep down, I get bummed out a lot of times. I mean, I live in New England, half of the year I'm depressed because it gets dark at 4:00 in the afternoon and it's cold and I'm not interacting with human beings outside and it's tough. And so like, yeah, like that's tough and I get stressed out, but I would say I'm probably happier than the average person,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think this is going to sound so mental health privileged of me, but like I didn't realize that depression was like a diagnosable thing for most of like my youth. I thought people were just like either choosing to be sad or not knowing how to deal with being sad. I didn't know that there was actually something going on in people's brains. Their brains were literally working differently and they couldn't shut that part off. So I was really lucky growing up, and maybe shout out to my parents for helping me, giving me such a happy childhood that I was able to be so happy all the time. But I mean, I obviously was sad and depressed a little bit as a kid too, but I also listened to a lot of ska music. Do you know about ska?
Yeah.
It's like the happiest music in the world. And so like there I was in like the 2000s, early 2000s in high school, just as like what we call emo was getting super popular and people were like choosing to listen to sad songs. I'm thinking like Fall Out Boy and like My Chemical Romance and stuff like I know there are emo purists out there who are going to cringe at hearing me call them emo, but like still like that's what we called emo at the time, and even like the Panic at the Discos of the world. And it's like, why would you listen to songs about being sad when you could listen to songs about being happy? Like that was my thinking. But the funny thing is like ska music, while it sounds happy and it's like bouncy and dancey and people are jumping around, like sometimes if you listen to the lyrics, they're like, whoa, they go deep and they hit hard. And I mean, I don't know. I think that really is a perfect metaphor of the kind of person that I am now that I'm thinking about this. It's like, I'm like a ska song with really sad lyrics. Like on the surface, really bouncy, makes you get up and be like, wow, I like these vibes. But then you actually sit down and analyze what they're saying. And it's like, damn, this is grim. So to answer the second part of your question, I don't think I have to work towards being happy necessarily, but it's definitely not as natural as it looks.
Yeah.
What
Totally
kind of stuff do you do for yourself? What's important to you for maintaining that for your own mental health?
Yeah, I like to ignore all my obligations, let the bills pile up, and that's
That's very effective.
Yeah, yes. Exactly. It's if you just pretend it doesn't exist, then it goes away. It's amazing.
So Amy and I are executive function coaches, so we work with people that have like challenges with executive functioning. So they have trouble with follow through. Avoidance is like a really common thing that we help people overcome. So it's very funny that you say that because that's like our world.
Yeah, and I'm only half joking there too. It's like I do keep on top of the stuff that I really need to for sure, but it's a struggle. It's a struggle to like
absolutely
when you've just especially with 2 kids. It's like you finish up a long, stressful work day, that there's more work to do, and then you're a dad and you finally get the kids to bed, and because they procrastinate so much they don't fall asleep till like 9:30, like 10 o'clock some nights, and then you sit down on the couch and the last thing you want to do is go pay the bills or go respond to emails, clean up, like exactly. And that, by the way, is exactly why I'm sitting in my car right now, because my wife also has a really demanding job and deals with all the same stress, and like we sometimes unfortunately have to like let the house get messy, and so now we just started paying a person to come and professionally clean the house every other week. And at first it was an expense we weren't sure we wanted to take on, but it was so worth it, and it changed our lives just having that one less thing to worry about.
Yeah.
I was just having a conversation with a client recently who is on the fence about getting a house cleaner. And I said, if you can afford it, I think it is pretty much like the ultimate form of self-care.
Yeah.
And he said, well, I feel like I should be able to do it. And I said, yes, of course. Like everybody should know how to clean, right? We do need to know how to take care of our space. But do you have to do it?
Right.
If you, just because you should be able to, just because you can, and offloading that stress and then making your environment more comfortable has so much value.
Totally.
We used to have house cleaners. We had to get rid of them, but I cannot wait till we can get one back again.
Yeah. And it's like, I don't know. I thought it was this luxury that only rich people could afford, but like if you look around, shop around, you can find people to do it for very reasonable rates. And it doesn't have to be an every week thing. We do it every other, and that's like perfect for us.
Yeah. And then the other thing is like taking a look at the expenses that you already, and is there something that you could cut back on to make space for the house cleaning, which will then impact your life positively in so many ways.
Totally.
Like maybe having the house cleaner is going to impact you more than going out to dinner once a week or twice a week or whatever.
Exactly.
So,
we're not going to give up Pizza Friday, but
good.
Yeah.
Good. So what else? Is there anything else that you personally do for yourself to support your own happiness?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think it's good to have a little bit of escapism, and like that, a lot of the interests that I had when I was younger, I've kind of carried with me a little bit, and there's a lot less stigma about it nowadays, like people don't frown upon you for wanting to sit down and play like a half hour's worth of a video game at night just to like unwind and to, it's like we're millennials and we grew up with this, and we carry it with us into adulthood too. So that's something. Or like going out for a run is a big thing for me, because it's an opportunity to listen to music and just shut out the world for a while, not take calls, be away from other stuff, might be away from the computer. And that's good. I'll listen to like podcasts and stuff like around the house or driving, or like when I'm mowing the lawn. That's a big thing. I actually love mowing the lawn. I know that's a weird, it's just, again,
it's meditative.
It's meditative. It's an opportunity to just like listen to some music, and it's so satisfying to see the finished product. I've been trying the no mow May thing right now. It's driving me nuts. It's like I've got parts of my...
We tried that once.
Yeah, it's terrible. It's so bad. Especially with kids. It's like you want to play in the backyard, and I mean, there's enough like dead spots where we can do that, but it's like I gotta do that. So that's stuff. Something else that I love doing, like especially this time of year when the weather starts getting nicer, is going and taking nighttime walks. Like when the whole world is shut down and people are starting to go to bed, I will just like go out and walk around the neighborhood, probably creep a few people out. They see me walk by on their Ring cameras. They're like, what allegations does this guy have? But it's like, no, I just love that feeling of like, oh my gosh, like everyone's gone. I own the world right now. You know, I did that. Yeah. I did that back in college a lot too, when I would be up super late at night or working the overnight shift or whatever, just like going out for late night walks, and especially in the city when I was living in Boston, it was awesome. And now I do it around here in Framingham where it's only a little more sketchy. That's okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. So, I mean, one of the big reasons why we wanted to bring you on, or I mean, why I wanted to bring you on. Also, I was telling Amy before you came on, I was like, I just gotta like make sure I don't fangirl too much, and I think I've done a really good job.
You have, Hannah. You're doing great.
You.
Absolutely. I thought you hated me this whole time, so we're good.
Wait, I went a little too far.
No, I fangirl. By the way, for not to derail your question again, but I met Billy Eichner last night, the comedian, who's one of my heroes, and I straight up fanboyed in front of him, and I was just like, I just wanted to get that out of the way before we go on stage, and he's like, okay, yeah. No, I appreciate that, but like, please do it on stage too. And I was like, okay.
That's awesome.
I will.
I love it.
Yeah.
That's so great. So anyway, so Amy asked me, she's like, okay, well, just tell me what you like about Matt. And so what I was saying is like, I just love how when you talk with people, you just find people's stories, and you said it a little bit before, but like how everybody has something to share and to tell.
Yeah,
like
of course.
My favorite was when you interviewed the guy from Marblehead who was talking about, he spoke in front of the zoning people, the whole golf course thing. And I loved how you were like, I thought that was going to be the main part of the story, but then it was like, all the other things that guy did.
I know.
And just like the way that you said that was just so funny.
Thank you. No, that's so true though. It's like those are my favorite types of stories, is the ones that you just have no idea where it's going to go. Here I was thinking we were just going to be talking about zoning for housing with this guy, but next thing you know, he's like, I owned a baby clothes company for people who are UFC fans called Baby Fight Gear, and like we raised axolotls, but turns out they're cannibalistic, so we were left with only one axolotl. And I'm like, this.
And he was like, and you see my shoes, like they're the same shoes, but they like didn't match.
They were different.
The dogs.
Yeah. The dogs ate one of each pair, so he had like a pair of unmatching shoes that he was wearing. I love characters like that. There's this guy that I met one time in Market Basket who I don't know. I was covering a completely unrelated story. By the way, for the non-New Englanders, Market Basket is a beloved grocery store here in New England. It has a cult following. Anyways, I was interviewing people in Market Basket, and this one guy, he was wearing this big like M&M's racing jacket, and he had a bunch of M&M's in his cart, and I was like, damn, you really like M&M's, huh? And he was like, you should see my house. And I was like, can I? And he's like, okay. And so we went to his house. I'm not kidding you. Floor to ceiling, every wall covered in M&M's merchandise, paraphernalia, rare M&M's flavors from overseas. Like, this dude was obsessed with M&M's. And I kept asking him over and over. I was like, why? Like, why M&M's? And he's just like, it's a collection. It's like he's this old retired veteran. And like, that was another part of the story. And like, the more I talked to him, come to find out he had recently lost his wife. And when I met him at Market Basket, that was his first time going grocery shopping alone since she had passed. And and like, he, at the end of the whole thing, he was just like, it's really nice to have a visitor. And just like, I had no idea like how lonely this guy was, because he was just some really hilarious grandpa cracking jokes with me in a grocery store. And then come to find out, like, me going to his house and him getting to show off his M&M's collection for someone meant the world to him. And so just
It's like, it reminds me of that quote that they say, like, be kind because everyone's fighting a battle that you don't know about or something like that. And like, what a great example of that.
Yep.
And just be open
Yeah.
and
that
loving from the start, right?
Right.
And that kind of thing happens all the time. And it's not always just like somebody lost a relative or somebody's going through an illness. It's not always that normal doom and gloom beat that you see on like a lot of TV news reports. Sometimes it's just, I don't know, somebody just needed a pick-me-up that day.
So Matt, do you just randomly like walk up to people to interview them, or how do you? How does that work?
Pretty much. Okay. I mean, sometimes in the case of the example you talked about a minute ago, Hannah, with the guy from Marblehead. I mean, he had gone up in front of a town meeting. Somebody posted the video from Public Access TV, and it went viral. So I seeked him out. But other people, like the guy in Market Basket, yes, is somebody that I just randomly encountered. I do this whole series where I show up in random small towns in Massachusetts and just see where the day takes me. I just don't have any plan, no interviews booked, no prior research. I just start talking to people and see what happens. And that's really fun and satisfying for me because I end up encountering these fascinating people who are so fun and so funny that never would have gotten interviewed for a news story if that hadn't been the intention.
It's great.
You tell about how you went to the mall with and then met the guy. Yeah,
this was a great example of that. So I was doing a story in Braintree, Massachusetts, just a few minutes south of Boston, small town, and they're really known for having a big mall there, and that's about it. So I was like, I'm just gonna walk around and interview people and see where the day takes me, except for the mall. And I encountered this really funny woman who was like, oh, I'm going to the mall. Do you want to come with me? I'm like, fine. I guess I'm going to the mall after all. So we go there and we walk into Aeropostale, and this guy working there folding clothes was just like the funniest dude. He was from the Philippines. I asked him his name. He said, by day or by night? I'm like, both. He's like, by day it's Richard, by night Maria Christina False Eyelashes. He goes, never been kissed, never been touched, but totally destroyed. And I was like, who is this diva? Like, this is amazing. And so, I mean, Maria Christina False Eyelashes totally stole the show in that interview. And so I was like, I need to do a follow-up with this person. Like, everyone in the comments is like, we need more of this person. And so I went and, once again, come to find out, this person has this whole backstory. He had moved over here in the 90s from the Philippines, where before he was living the life as a drag performer named Maria Christina False Eyelashes, but had to give that whole thing up because partially A, his dad disapproved of that whole thing, and B, he had to work 3 jobs here in the US in order to help put his nieces and nephews through school. So on top of all that, because he was working so hard, he had never had like a night out in Boston. No one ever invited. He had all these friends and people that he makes smile all day at work, his coworkers, but no one ever invited him to like go out and like hang out. And so I was like, I'm going to do that. And so I invited him out. We went to a drag club in Boston, legendary club called Jacques Cabaret. And he had so much fun. The drag performers were chatting it up with him and heard his story. And they were like, why don't you come perform for us? So for a third video with him, we did just that. We got him up on stage and he revived that persona, Maria Christina False Eyelashes, in front of a crowd for the first time in 30 years and was just living it up, and the crowd was so into it, and it was magical.
It's like such a perfect example of what we were saying in the very beginning about how when you do the thing that you love, when you get to do the thing that you love and that you feel is like truly yours and and I loved that. And I loved following that whole thing.
Thank you. I didn't want it to just be this story where he tells this whole thing like, oh yeah, I used to do this and now I'm here and it sucks. But anyways, at least I get this job and I get to make people smile. It's like, no, come on, let's do something about this. Let's make this fun. So we did.
And so is that something that because that's a pretty powerful thing that you can do for people. Mm-hmm. Do you in the moment of doing that, not in the moment, but in the process of doing that, like, are you aware of the positive impact that you are likely going to have on that person? Like, does that motivate you to do it?
Sometimes yes, but sometimes no. I mean, a great example of that, not like, yes, in the case of Richard, like I absolutely knew that this was going to be a big deal for him. I also had a whole saga where I encountered this woman singing Christmas carols in Boston, and I sat down to record an interview her. Come to find out, she was homeless because of a bad situation with her former husband, and she had this dream of recording her own original song in a studio, but couldn't afford it, obviously. So I asked some friends in the biz if they could get her into a studio, hooked her up with a producer. They recorded the whole song. We posted it online. And in like 2 months, she made like 10 grand off of her own original song, which is so
awesome.
cool. Changed her life. She has housing now. Because of that story, she got to sing the national anthem at a Celtics game. She got interviewed on CBS Evening News with Steve Hartman, and like just all this crazy stuff.
Cool.
So yes, like in moments like that, I know like this is going to be a huge deal for this person, and that's really cool. But other times there's this woman who I've had as a recurring guest named Sharon, who's a general manager of a few Dunkin' locations here in Massachusetts. And I only wanted to interview her because I thought she was funny. Like, she is hilarious. She is the most quintessential Massachusetts person who runs on dunks and doesn't pronounce the letter R. And I was like, she is so funny. And she's super sarcastic and witty. And so I interviewed her, and come to find out, like, it went so viral and so many other people loved her that she has been hit up by not one but 2 different reality TV shows. And I don't want to give too much away because I can't, but let's just say it's happening, and she's going she's now going to participate in a reality TV show on a major streaming network.
Wow.
And it's super
See,
cool.
oh, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Like how neat that you got into this career, and now you have sort of stumbled upon using you're using your privilege, right? Your access, your power in this really cool, authentic way. I love it.
Thank you.
It's very cool.
Yeah,
It's
no,
amazing.
I love that too. And I don't know, it's fun. And all of these things that I'm talking about too, by the way, are like exactly the kinds of things they tell you not to do in journalism school. You know, don't make yourself a part of the story. Don't get in on it. But I've always been preaching the observer effect in science, which is that, you know, by just simply observing something, you're changing it, you're affecting it. And I really think the same things happens in media, where you put a camera and a microphone in someone's face. What do you think? They're just going to be normal? You think they're going to be their normal selves? Like, by me existing and telling their story, it's impossible not to have some effect on it. So why not take that and run with it? Why not tell their story in an authentic, ethical way, but also elevate it to the next level?
Love it. And they, you know, they always say, like, people want to be seen and heard, right? And here's this, like, you do it in just such a, like, authentic, also just super entertaining way.
Thank you. No, it's fun for me, and I'm glad that you enjoy watching it too.
Yeah. And I really hope that, you know, listeners, if you are listening to Matt and you are not from Massachusetts, or you know, don't know about him, like, please check his stuff out, because it's applicable to anybody, regardless of where you live. Like, humans are humans. Right. Yes, it is like centered on Massachusetts. And you get to hear Boston accent.
Yeah, I get comments all the time from people being like, "Oh, I don't even live anywhere near Boston, but I watch all your videos and stuff like that."
Oh, cool.
That's the best. I actually had a video not that long ago about this woman in Jamaica Plain, which is a neighborhood of Boston, who scrapes salt off the road, and it got so viral that, like, I feel like I need to back up, because if people are listening right now from warm climates, they don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, they're going to be like,
what? When it snows up here in New England, cities and towns will spread a salt mixture in the road to help melt the snow and make it less icy and also more grippy for tires, so that you're not slipping all over the place. This woman scrapes that salt up off the road and uses it on her own steps and property to help melt the ice and stuff. And, like, it's a quirky kind of thing to do, and she's funny about it. She's like, "It's our tax dollars, I'm paying for it anyways." But what's funny is, like, that video got so viral that people were asking exactly that question. Like, I don't understand. What is she using the salt for? Is she cooking with it? Also, why is there salt in the road?
No, is there salt on the road?
People are like, "I'm from Australia. This video makes no sense to me, but I'm watching it and I'm loving it. And like, I have to remember that sometimes, that some people who watch these videos are not from around here. And like, I don't know, because I'm always thinking when I'm posting a video about a market basket closing in Billerica and people losing their minds about it, that like, oh, no one outside of Billerica is going to care. But next thing you know, it's like making headlines in the UK. And I'm like, what the hell?
I actually have to fess up something. So I grew up in Massachusetts. I grew up on the Cape.
Nice.
And then I moved away. I went to school in Rochester, New York, then moved to California. And then I came back to the Cape. And then I moved to Connecticut.
Ooh. Listen, I don't have a beef with Connecticut. I just think, I just wish I didn't have to spend so long driving through Connecticut in order to get to New York.
It's definitely a drive-through state.
Yeah, I'm very grateful for your rest stops. And
we have good rest stops.
Yes, the Merritt Parkway is beautiful.
I live between the Merritt and 95, so we get to choose. I'm like a mile from both, a mile and a half from
I would
both.
choose the Merritt every time. All those cool bridges, the 2-lane road, just pretty trees. It's a good one.
Yep.
But other
in
than
the fall,
that,
it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Other than that,
where on the Cape are you from?
Well, I grew up in Chatham.
Nice.
And then when we moved back, we moved to Eastham. And for anyone who's listening, it's not Eastham. It's Eastham.
But it's confusing because there are so many ham towns in Massachusetts. Some are hams, some are hums.
Yes. Chatham,
but also Framingham, you know?
Yes.
It's tough. And also, I don't want to tank Massachusetts tourism industry. I want people to know Cape Cod is a wonderful place to visit.
It is.
Expect to spend lots of time in your car getting to the beach for traffic, but other than that, it's beautiful.
Yes. And don't go there in February.
Don't go there. Yeah, there's not much going on there in the middle of winter. Except in P-Town. P-Town is fun all year round.
This is true. P-Town is fun all year round.
Yeah.
They know how to have fun up there. It just takes like hours to get there.
It takes hours to get there. Yeah, sometimes. So for those, again, not from Massachusetts, I'm sorry, we're getting real deep in the Massachusetts lore here. But I just want to explain, P-Town is the very tip of Massachusetts, and it has one of the most, if not the most vibrant LGBTQ communities in all of the United States. And it's just so fun to visit. It's adorable because there's all these small buildings really close together, super walkable, beautiful beaches. You can take a ferry from Boston to P-Town, and if you are going to go visit there, that is the way to do it. Highly recommended.
So can you tell us a little bit about how you took some of these people that you met and then you did a little live show?
Yeah, that was like the culmination of years and years of this work. So basically, a lot of these people that I've already mentioned, like Sharon from Duncan and Richard, aka Maria Christina False Eyelashes, they've developed these little followings because of my videos. And I thought, wouldn't it be fun to get them all on stage at the same time and like interview them and have bits and little fun surprises live on stage? And I was like, let's do it. Actually, that's not where the idea began. The idea began because the Wilbur Theatre in Boston, this historic 1,000-seat venue, had hit me up and were like, do you want to do a live show? And if so, what would that look like? And I was like, well, It's going to look pathetic because no one's going to come to it. But unbeknownst to me, it sold out in like 2 weeks, less than 2 weeks. And so when it sold out, I was like, damn, well, now I really got to make this show good.
I have to do something.
I have to actually entertain people. And so we had a great lineup of people, which again, on paper is sounds like it's going to be a disaster, right? All these just regular everyday Bostonians with no onstage experience, like on stage, entertaining 1,000 people. Like, how is this going to be fun and entertaining? But it ended up being really magical. Everyone just was their natural, authentic self that made them go viral in the first place, and were all fun. And I had all these great little surprises along the way that made some of them cry, and people were like, there were so in the crowd too. So there were lots of laughs, but tears were being shed, and it was an amazing, amazing experience. And what's driving me nuts is that I have all this great footage, but I'm so damn busy that I haven't really been able to post it all. But I'm going to be slowly releasing it over time, and then hopefully doing another show in the future.
Oh, that's so great. That's so great. All right. So Matt, we know that you hear so many people's stories, so many different stories. So can you tell our listeners, what have you learned about, what actually makes people happy?
Oh man, I know it's funny because people like to joke on social media how like they hate human interaction. They don't want to talk to people, they don't want to engage with others, but like I think deep down people really do appreciate it and enjoy it, and human interaction is what's going to save the world. And a huge part of why we are where we are in society right now is because we have fewer and fewer occasions where we actually engage with each other face to face. Even starting like almost 20 years ago now, when self-checkouts started showing up and like you weren't talking to a cashier, and it's just like spiraled from there, where now you don't even have to go to the bank to deposit a check. You do it right on your phone and like stuff like that. And it's nice to have these conveniences available at our fingertips, but we're definitely losing something as a society. And even when it comes to just people that you disagree with on whatever side of the political spectrum you may be on, like I'll have these like 3-hour conversations with someone and we'll be laughing, having so much fun relating, and then all of a sudden like I'll look at their Instagram page and they're posting all this stuff that I'm like, whoa, I don't agree with that, buddy. But in talking with each other and relating to each other, we can find that common ground that we need in order to actually work through our problems. I know I'm not like sounding like some brilliant revolutionary coming up with that concept. I think we all secretly know that. It's just we need to figure out how to get to a place in our society where we can trust each other more and not just exist in these little echo chambers and bubbles on social media, and actually be face to face with more people in our community.
That is a beautiful segue into a story I wanted to ask you to tell.
Yeah.
And you were, when you were talking about something about how you had learned how you can grow from feedback from your audience. And so could you share the Brockton story? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah. So going back to this series that I do where I show up in random small towns and just like interview people with zero plan, I went to Brockton, Massachusetts, and I ended up finding my way to a hardcore punk show, which I thought was fascinating because people don't realize that Brockton has this legendary, to be honest, legendary hardcore punk scene. But what happened was so many people from Brockton, for those who don't know, it's got to be one of the communities in Boston that has the highest black population and a very proud black community. And going to a punk rock show is like the least black thing. It's probably the whitest thing I could have possibly done. But in my mind, I wasn't going there to represent Brockton. I was going there to find myself on a random side quest. And I found myself on one that I thought was interesting. But people who weren't familiar with my work saw that and were like, what the hell Brockton is this? You come to our town and like are trying to whitewash it? Like, what are you doing? And people were like ripping me, especially on Twitter. And I was like, you know what? They're right. I get it. And so I ended up going back the very next day and having one of the people who actually was the most vocally critical of me on Twitter. I had hit him up and I was like, hey man, I totally get it. And I agree. Can you recommend some places in Brockton that I should check out? And he sent me this big list and hooked me up with a great tour guide. And we went around and had an awesome day. And what ended up happening was so many of, if not all of those same people who were calling me out on Twitter on day one were coming back around and being like, oh my God, he actually listened. Like, whoa, like this is the Brockton that I know. Awesome. This is the Brockton I love. Now we're talking. And like, that was so satisfying. And I think when I bring up this story, I think it's a perfect example of how other people might just kind of be like, no, you're wrong. You just don't understand, and like, no, it's not everything's about race. And it's like, no, people wanted to see their community represented as they see it. And I get that. And so I'm going to take that L, not as a loss, but as a learning opportunity. And I'm going to go.
I love it. Nice.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's great.
That's great. Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you. So would you say that this job has like changed your life? I mean, has it changed your life, and how?
Yeah, absolutely. In good ways and bad, I'd say. It's changed my life in the sense that all of a sudden now I have so many eyes on my work and people hitting me up and being, people coming up to me in public and just saying, I love what you do. And like, what's better than that? A stranger telling you you're good at your job. Like, that's really cool. And I like that. It's also opened up tons of doors for me that weren't there before and given me opportunities that I never would have had. Like I said before, I was on stage last night with Billy Eichner, one of my comedic heroes. And like, that was so cool. And so many things like that. But it also adds a ton of stress and stuff to my life and anxiety that wasn't there before. I talked earlier about how I grew up not really understanding that like depression was a diagnosable thing and like, or anxiety. And like now, for the first time in my life, I'm experiencing like anxiety when it comes to like posting videos and like stuff and like, oh my gosh, so many people are going to see this. How are they going to react? Like millions of people are going to watch this video. Like, what if I screw it? What if I have another Brockton moment? Like when people started calling me out in the Brockton video, I think what hurt the most about that criticism was that like, I agreed, like there was truth to it. I was like, oh my God, they're right. This hurts. It wasn't just someone saying like, change your skinny jeans, unk. It was it was like, oh my God, I actually screwed up. Like that sucks. And to screw up in such a public way with millions of people watching, that really hurts. Even just with the video you mentioned about, Marblehead, like I'm really happy with that interview and the guy, but like I said one thing in the video about like the law, saying that I described it as the purpose being like for low income housing, but that wasn't really telling the story because it was more about just housing in general, multifamily housing. Low income is a part of that, but by not saying multifamily and focusing on it's like, I know it sounds like such a small mistake to anyone listening who's not from Marblehead, who doesn't care. They're like, yeah, whatever. It's a silly little mistake, not a big deal, but it felt like a huge deal. Like it felt like I completely missed the mark on that really important detail about the story. And as grateful as I was for how many views that video was getting and how many people loved David, that weekend was like all weekend long I was feeling like crap. Is even though I was like still putting on a smiling face and taking my daughter to softball and like having fun, like deep down I was like, God, I just wish I could fix this, but the internet's tough like that. It's like so much is permanent and there's only so much you can do.
Yeah. And what is from that movie? With great power comes great responsibility.
Yes.
And it shows like you do have, like we were saying before, you do have this power, right? This ability to help people, but you are so exposed. And it does show you like how powerful words are and semantics and how, and that's why it's so, it's so cool that you responded to the Brockton situation like that, because so many people, like you said, could just like fight back and just try to protect their ego instead of growing from it. And as hard as that is to do, I think that in addition to increasing human connection, I think that people letting go of their egos and opening up and being authentic like that, and then kind of fixing or making, like addressing the sort of mistake, it's not really a mistake, the loss. I think that's also, I think what people really need to lean into more. So you did a great job.
Thank you.
That's hard.
And not running away from your problems, So I know you were probably expecting a much more happy answer about, has this changed my life? But I'm just being honest, being real. It's Mental Health Awareness Month. It's changed my life in so many great ways, and I wouldn't change that for the world. But with that comes the not so great stuff. And there's a famous proverb that goes, "Mo money, mo problems." And it was Mr. Big E Smalls was the one,
I love it,
I believe, who said that. Now I don't necessarily have mo money, but I definitely have mo followers.
Mo views.
Yeah.
Mo followers, mo problems. Yeah, more views
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah. One of the very first episodes that Amy and I ever did was on a book, one of my favorite books called The Upside of Stress. The woman who wrote it, Kelly McGonigal, says that we cannot avoid stress. A meaningful life is a stressful life.
Yeah.
And so what matters is how we interpret that stress, and then how we use the energy in our bodies, the stress response that we're having. Like, are we going to use it for good, to help ourselves and to help us move forward? Or are we going to it's going to shut us down and we miss out on opportunities? So as much of that anxiety that you experience, and I'm sure you'll have more and more as you get bigger and bigger, especially now since you've been on our show.
That's right.
Right.
But I imagine that will continue to happen. But I also see that you are going to get better and better at using it to help you continue to grow instead of letting it shut you down.
Yeah. No, I agree. You're right. I think the more experience I have with that, like, yeah, sure, maybe in the early days, the no skinny jeans unk comments might have hurt, but like, that's something that I've been able to move past. It's like something that I realize what is going on in this person's life that they take the time to leave a nasty comment on someone's video or post on social media. It's like, that's not a me problem. That's a them problem. And like, that was actually some advice I gave just the other day or yesterday when I was talking to that high school. Like, they were asking, how do you deal with negative comments and stuff? Because I think when you're that young and in high school, like that stuff hurts a lot more than when you get older. And like, it's so funny thinking back on high school in retrospect, and like the things you cared about and the people's opinions who mattered to you. And it's like, now it's so embarrassing to think that you cared what that person thought, And so that's what I said to them, is just like, for them to take the time out of their day to leave a nasty comment, it's like they really don't have anything better to do.
It says everything about them and nothing about you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It reminds me of a T-shirt that I have with a quote on it by Arlen Hamilton, and it says, "Be yourself so that the people looking for you can find you." Like, people are going to look for you and be jerks, but you can't let it stop you being yourself, because then the people who really do need you aren't going to be able to find you if you don't continue to be yourself. So.
I love that. That's really good.
So, Matt, we know that you spend so much time helping other people's dreams come true. But what about you? Have you thought about your own dreams? Like, what's on your list?
That's a great question, because I think for so long, I don't know, I kind of just dreamed of being able to have a house, raise a family, and do something that I love, tell stories, be entertaining on the radio. That was it for a long time. And it's like, now I'm kind of doing that. I got kids, I'm happily married, I got a house, and life is good. It's not a big house, but it's a house, and it's in the neighborhood that I want to be in, and in the town, in the area that I want to be. I'm still close to all my family and friends. And so on paper, it looks like, I've achieved kind of what I dreamed of doing when I was younger, which is cool. So I've been in this place for the past few years, really, of like, well, now what? Like, now what's my dream, And I guess, I know this sounds silly, but I guess it's just to kind of continue to be able to like provide a good life for my kids, and be able to tell stories my way, which is fun. I don't know. There's been a bunch of people who have reached out since I've been very fortunate enough to have a lot of success on social media and stuff, that have been wanting to hire me, other media outlets and other businesses and stuff. And it's like, it's all really cool. It's cool to have all those opportunities there, but sometimes they tell me like what they kind of have envisioned for me. And there was a time in my life where I would say, yeah, sure, whatever, you want a paycheck, awesome, I'll take it. But now I'm very lucky to be in this place where I can kind of like set the rules, and I can kind of do what I want to do. That's a big part of the reason why I'm at WBZ right now, That's awesome. Is because they give me the creative freedom to tell stories my way. And so what's the long-term dream at this point? Still trying to figure that out, because I never expected any of this to happen.
That's well, great. Amy and I have learned that from all of our guests so far is that being present and enjoying where you are right now is pretty much the best thing. So
Yeah,
sounds like
yeah.
you're doing that.
Yeah, just trying to, and move past the tough parts and navigate all that stuff. But it's good, and as long as my kids are happy, I'm happy.
Okay, so Matt, we end every episode with a question called "What's real for us this week?" And you can choose something that has been hard lately, something that you're working towards, or something that's bringing you joy or that you're looking forward to.
We talked about my big first ever live show just recently. It was such a success that I'm going to get to take my kids to Disney World now. So for the first time. And that's something that I'm super psyched about.
That's great.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yes.
That's so cool. See, the work that you're doing is now you're able to like spread the results of your hard work out.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
I love that. That's great.
That's great.
What about you, Amy?
I'll share something I'm working towards right now. So Hannah already is well aware that, exercise, that's something I've been working on, but I've been trying to make that a little bit more concrete. So my goal is like to do something every single day. So some days, depending on my work schedule, that might mean just going for a walk. Other days it's going to do yoga or the gym. So that's just something that I'm working towards right now and really trying to be intentional about just, moving my body every day. So
that's great.
Yeah, I mean, it's so funny because I was going to say the same thing. And something that we talk about a lot as executive function coaches is how important exercise is for our brains and for us, like for just to function every day. Well, it is so important to move your body. So that's also my goal. We're going to be doing some traveling in June, and I anticipate walking a lot every day. And so I'm getting back into running. I was a runner for a very long time, and I recently kind of stopped running, but I'm back in it and it feels good, and I haven't forgotten how to run.
Yay.
Nice. Let's go.
Yes. Yep.
That's wonderful. Yeah.
Well, Matt, thank you so much.
Yes,
thank you so
thank
much
you,
for
Matt.
answering my
Of course.
Instagram message, and it's just so cool.
No, this
Yes.
is fun.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed talking to you both, especially as professionals in what you do. I felt like I got a little therapy out of this. So
Good.
Good.
No, but thank you. This has been a really fun conversation, and you do an amazing job. So thank you. You did a great job preparing for this and asking great questions, and I really enjoyed it.
Great.
Thank you, Matt.
Yeah.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Hannah, what'd you
Matt
think?
Shearer is amazing. He's even better than I thought.
Yeah, he's incredible, Hannah. Oh
I
my
could
goodness.
not sit down. I could not sit still that whole thing. I was just bopping around.
Because you were trying to hold your excitement in and it was coming
It
out.
was.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, he's amazing. I loved hearing about what he does, the stories that he shared. It's just, talk about bringing happiness. He's somebody who I feel like I just felt so happy hearing him, just talking with him. So
even when he was getting all real about his, the stuff that's hard about it,
yes.
I felt like he just had it appears that he has a really healthy viewpoint and approach to, managing that kind of stuff. And and that he's so open to learning and improving, and everything is so cool.
Yeah. That's great. So great.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you guys have not found Matt Shearer, you got to check him out. It's Reporter Matt on Instagram, and then WBZ Boston on TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
We'll put the handles in the show notes.
Yeah.
So yeah. But give him a follow, because he's a delight, and the stories are just really cool. And before we go, we have to give a very, very, very overdue shout out to two super important people. We mentioned talking with Matt when we were talking about music. Your amazing son wrote our intro music.
Yes.
Our podcast theme song.
Yes. Yes. Thank you, Ian. Thank you so much for doing that, for sharing that with us. We appreciate it.
Yep. And then my business partner, Bonnie Liang, who I co-own Bonico Fiber Arts with, she is an amazing artist, and she did our podcast artwork. So she, made all that for us, and I just am so grateful to her for doing that. So
yes.
Yep.
Yeah. Thank you, Bonnie.
Yes. Thank you, Ian. Thank you, Bonnie.
All right. Thanks for listening, everyone. Be sure to check out the show notes for more information and links.
Yes. And a reminder that this podcast is not a substitute for professional mental health support, although sometimes it might feel like it. I don't know. I feel a little bit healed after that conversation.
I know. Yes.
But in all seriousness, please, really be sure that you're taking care of yourself and reach out to a qualified licensed provider for help.
Yes. Yes. And please reach out to us. We would love to hear from you. For now, you can email us at hello@icanbehappier.com, and be sure to visit our website at icanbehappier.com.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for listening, everyone.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
And now, for those of you who hung around till the end, here's a blooper.
This is insane. So hold up. They're going to do, I don't know if you can see the truck. Look at that. They are doing road work right in front of my house. And I did not expect that. So let me close this sunroof for a moment. And
Matt,
there we go. And because it's electric, you can't
them?
hear the engine. I'm sorry.
Right.
Do you guys have a podcast to record
A's.
or something? I apologize.
Oh my, no, this is beautiful.
Yeah.
Maybe you should go interview them.
Yeah, that would be great. I'm sure they'd have a lot to say, and I can tell them, why did you choose right now while I have a podcast scheduled to record right in front of my studio? Whatever.
Yeah, right? Can't they tell?
So rude.
No kidding.
Isn't your recording sign on?
I know. See, I need an on-air light on the back. I'm going to replace the brake
Yeah.
light with an on-air light. I love that.
There you go.
So
That's
funny.
great. I love it.
Well,